What's up, everybody? It is the Best Bot Kid Smooth, and today I'm reviewing Gears of War 5. Oh, I'm sorry, Gears 5. And thanks to Microsoft and Xbox Game Studios for providing me a Gears 5 code to do this review. And let's get to it. No need to waste any time. No need. It's been 3 years since the last Gears of War game, and unfortunately, it is also the last time the Xbox had a blockbuster hit not named Forza. With Gears 4, the Coalition proved they can make a true-to-form Gears game. And with Gears 5, the Coalition, they can flex on them, swag it out, and show you the diversity and the talent hidden in the Coalition. No need to beat around the bush. No need to reach beyond the Earth's atmosphere to highlight a flaw to discredit this masterpiece that is Gears 5. Yes, Gears 5 is the best Gears of War game to date. I've gotten past the nostalgia of Gears 2, which was a great game and it was fun online, but it was a broken online. Gears 3 was dynamic and it pushed the Xbox 360 to its limits, but it was still a great game for its time. But I've gotten past that. Gears 4, it was average, and the new characters needed time to flesh out, but a bad game? No, not a bad game by any means. However, Gears 5 is incredible. It's actually, with its campaign, it's so good that it actually makes Gears 4 story even better now that the dust has settled. One thing we all anticipated was Gears 5's campaign. Kate taking the full lead in this game. She takes the full lead. It's her story. Her story continues from Gears 4. We follow Kate, Del, and Jack on a journey to find answers. The connection between Kate and the Locust. What does it mean? Where does it stem from? Why is Kate having these visions and these headaches? Like, what is she seeing? Like, is her mom still alive? Like, is she the next Locust Queen? What's going on? These are answers we are looking for. And luckily, in Gears 5, thanks to the Coalition and their storytelling and the writing behind this game, those questions get answered, making playing as Kate and Del more natural. This is a character change that feels so natural. It doesn't feel forced, because if you play Gears 4, you kind of saw this coming. You saw this unraveling, and they did it perfectly. What a great transition, I must say. None of this felt forced. Now, I won't reveal any spoilers. The Coalition has outdone themselves. In that, they actually outdone Epic Games as well when it comes to storytelling. This is the best Gears of War story you're probably going to experience. The decisions made, the loss, and the tragedy that takes place during this time, they're gut-wrenching. No longer is Gears campaign a gimmick to the franchise. This phase of the COG has me so invested, and I can't wait to see how the future of the games play out with some of the things that took place in Gears 5. The campaign is more open. Yes, you are able to ride around in the skiff to get from point A to point B and check out point C. There's a lot of collectibles, some side stuff. The levels, the snow level, which is my favorite, just skiing across the ice. You got a desert level, which they've done phenomenal work. The weather effects are phenomenal. Just the environmental damage and impacts that it has on the game and the campaign and sudden things that you need to watch out for. It was just like properly done, and I was proud to see this all take place during my experiences during the snowy levels and the desert levels. Actually, one of my favorite events, sorry for the slight spoilers, like the sand tornado storm that me and Addict had to battle through. But we all know that Gears, when we got to see more of it with the previews, and now that everybody has access to the games, the game is more open. A lot of people talk about like open world RPG elements. No, Gears of War is not an open world game, and by any means, it's not an RPG. Sure, it has light RPG elements. The hub areas gives you more to do. There's more things to see, more things to take in, bigger battle spaces. There are much appreciated changes because it does open the game up, and I appreciated it. When you think about the side missions, a lot of side missions thrown in games, what you commonly find is side missions are either better than the main missions, or they're just tacked on unnecessary, like mundane tasks. I feel like the Gears 5 side missions were actually great because they're the story behind the objectives related to the main campaign. So it kind of gave you an interest in doing these and an interest in completing them, because behind every side mission there was either, some sort of collectible, there was some sort of component to upgrade Jack. It kind of just going through them kind of allowed you to enhance further, make your character, make Jack better, and just to open up parts of the story, parts of these side stories connected to people that you need to deal with. It opened all that up for you, and I felt like it was a nice addition and something that I like to see forward in future Gears of War games. Sure, new enemies are introduced. I enjoy running into the Warden, who presents a challenge on everyone. Once he arrives with the 2 hammers in his hand, he has the extra health bar. You gotta knock out his armor, and he's just OP to the max. Playing him in co-op is probably a better experience. Doing it by yourself could, present some trouble, but it's a good challenge, and I enjoyed running into him. The times that we did, I think you run into the Warden at least maybe 3 times throughout the campaign. He comes in and wreaks havoc, and the worst place to fight this thing is in tight areas, because he has enough power to just kind of take out multiple enemies at once, especially if you guys are all close together. And if you played multiplayer, you know what that bat can do. So as far as one of my biggest complaints from Gears 4 was I didn't enjoy playing early in a campaign. We had to shoot the robots. They were not satisfying. It was not fun to fight them. I couldn't wait to get through the first act so we didn't have to deal with the robots. And this time around, because as the story fleshes out, it makes sense. You're not really fighting the robots. However, they do make a return. Some of them are corrupted, and they've been mutated by the swarm, so a lot of them will have flesh and stuff on them, and it actually makes battles with the robots in this game, the DBs, the corrupted DBs in this game, more satisfying, because there's flesh there, just weight to them. There's different ways to take them out, but the cool thing about it is not overdone. It's not repeated throughout the game. They have their sections, but it's not as often as it was in Gears 4, and I feel like the enemy switch ups, the AI that you're going against throughout the campaign, there's a nice amount of change up to kind of keep you from getting bored. You always gotta they throw nice changes, a nice pace to it, and how you deal with these, and that was definitely much appreciated, because that was my biggest complaint, along with the Force Horde sections in the campaign. That obviously does not take place in Gears 5. You are not doing Horde missions in Gears 5 at all, so bravo to that. But I had the opportunity to play Gears 5 solo, co-op, and full 3-player co-op. I've completed my run on experience difficulty, which I highly recommend. It took me about 16 hours to complete. Sure, the game can be finished in less time, but I took the time to find most of the collectibles, did all the side stuff, and took time exploring areas to find components in my attempt to fully upgrade Jack. Jack is more useful now. He can be controlled by a player and co-op or he can be controlled by player 1 if you're playing in standard co-op, or if you're playing, by yourself. By a push of a button. You can use Jack to provide cover. He can fetch weapons, he can fetch ammo, he can apply shock to enemies to slow them down while you're in the middle of battle. He can do a lot of stuff. He can actually control some enemies too for a short period of time, which is very, very useful when you have a heavy that is surrounded with a bunch of natural enemies. If you can control the heavy, you can kind of eliminate quite a few of the enemies on screen before the time runs out, and that is much appreciated. Jack is actually better served if a player is controlling him in co-op, because he can do a lot of damage. There's a lot more flexibility, a lot more control that you have to do with that, and I've got to experience that for myself, and it kind of made the experience that much better. So Jack he's pretty awesome. And like I said, like a lot of the stuff that you're getting, that you're doing this stuff to upgrade Jack in his weapons and his abilities. And just to wrap up my thoughts on the campaign, I think easily it's the best Gears campaign I've experienced. I enjoy Gears 1, I enjoy Gears 2, I enjoy Gears 3. I thought Gears 4 was cool, but it had its low points. Gears Judgment, obviously we all know how we felt about that. However, Gears 5 kind of just hits the point. There's no flaws in this campaign. The story that we're witnessing isn't a bad one. It's not a lacking one. The voice acting is phenomenal. The soundtrack is like, whew, the soundtrack is dope. There's like the moments and the changes and the things that you're presented with during this journey is nothing that has actually been experienced in a Gears of War game. And I don't see how this Gears campaign fall below any other Gears game. It is easily, to me, the best Gears campaign I've experienced in my time with the Gears franchise. But outside of the Gears campaign, Gears 5 is fully loaded with content. I mean, once you complete the campaign, you have several multiplayer options. You have the new mode Escape, which is this new 3-player co-op mode. You get 3 players get themselves planted into a swarm hive. They set off a bomb. You fight through a swarm to get out as quick as possible. What makes this mode very unique is that you go in with a pistol with a little ammo. And the only way to get this ammo is to retrieve it from the swarm that you take out or find ammo rooms, which provides little ammo for 3 players to share. I mean, you gotta have to like stealth around, use that pistol to his best ability, and get familiar with the hand-to-hand combat, which is improved this time in this Gears game. The knife becomes useful, the stealth moves are useful, the characters have a lot of personality. There will be new characters that come in throughout the year, but the 3 that you could use, the DLC characters, you can actually use characters is like the characters that's already available to you. However, there's like the 3 characters that's been advertised over the course of the months, and excuse me, I forget their names. They are like pretty much the primary guys you want to use, because there's achievements dedicated to them. You can upgrade each character, you can upgrade their weapons, you can upgrade their health over time. So as many times you do this escape mode, you can just go in there more beasts and more better, and you can up the difficulty, because the higher the difficulty, the better the reward in escape, and the supply drops are pretty awesome. So escape, I can honestly see myself playing this for like the next 3 months and be completely satisfied. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into escape mode. It is definitely enjoyable. It's 3 players. You don't need that many people to join up. It's definitely sustainable, and a sustainable game. They go by pretty quick, especially if you're skilled. But you have to pay attention. You guys have to communicate, because this mode will challenge you, especially on harder difficulties. And there's actually difficulties beyond insane when it comes to escape, which I'm looking to try out myself. Horde is also back, and it's more complex, and yes, Jack is a playable character here, and he's very useful as he is in campaign. Multiplayer is also broken down between ranked matches and arcade. Ranked, the King of the Hills, the executions, the team deathmatch. However, ranked match is dedicated to keeping things even, keeping things fair. They're not a fan of having people drop out and it being uneven matches. So what happens when people quit or booted out in like the middle of a lobby, what happens is the matchmaking lobby would stall, and it will reset until it'll throw you back in another lobby until you get another 5 to play against. And that's pretty much it, and that could take a long time if this keeps happening to you, because they treat this ranked matches seriously. So they don't want like this thing where it's uneven or people quitting and whatnot, because you will be punished and stuff like that. However, to back up that, because stuff like that and ranked matches, that could actually change the your experience with Gears of War's multiplayer. That can definitely change your experience, because it could take a while to get into matches if people are quitting right before the match is pending start or during a countdown. It could definitely hinder that. So now they have arcade mode, which is drop in, drop out. You can jump into an ongoing arcade match, and if you leave, a bot will replace you until another player, another human control player comes in, and it kind of just keeps things going. It's just very active. The one thing I like about arcade mode, if you're afraid of being wall bounced to death and people coming at you with nashers and stuff like that, arcade mode is not going to be any of that, because nobody has a nasher in arcade. It's not there. It's a special item you have to unlock or buy. It's dedicated to a streak, or if you're just getting your ass handed to you, you'll get an option to buy that later on, but it's not something that's given to everyone by default. So everyone really has to get good with the lancers and the other weapons that's provided throughout the map until the nashers and the better weapons become available. And this is probably the most balanced Gears mode, because it forces you to sit behind cover, flank, run, flank, and use the other weapons, which I think is good, especially if you were run off previous Gears games because you did not have any skills using the Nasher. And I feel like even with the rank matches, once you're jumped in, I feel there's a little bit more balance to it. I'm comfortable using other weapons this time around. There's other ways to really get the victory than just running up and wall bouncing yourself to a Nasher. I feel like the maps are well thought out, weapon placements are great, and then the other weapons have improved, and it kind of makes up for one of the best Gears multiplayers I've experienced. Sure, we don't have meat flag, the mode of meat flag anymore. I'm still hoping we get that, but as far as content overall, the game is like it's fully loaded now. As far as the Gears 5 visuals, this is clearly best looking Gears game. Actually, graphically, Gears 5 is already being crowned the best looking game of the year, and is also being crowned the best looking game on any platform. On the Xbox One X, this game runs a dynamic 4K 60 frames per second, averaging just over 59 frames per second throughout the whole campaign when you take the averages. The game is also available on PC, and PC players are able to take full advantages of its visual offerings. The game also is available on Xbox One S, which runs at a dynamic 1080p 30 campaign or a dynamic 1080 60 multiplayer. But overall, even on the Xbox One S, the lower tier console, it still maintains its graphical fidelity. It's just a great looking game. So with that being said, it's time for the verdict, man. Do I recommend Gears 5? What else is there to say about this game? It launched with a ton of content. It's very accessible. The game is well worth $60. It's easily worth $60. Or there's a much cheaper buy-in, Game Pass for $10 or Game Pass Ultimate for $15. Game Pass is typically on sale for $1 for the first month or $2 for the first 2 months. And then you have it available on Steam as well. So there's many ways to get access to Gears 5. I've been playing it using obviously it's available on Game Pass, but we were able to get a review code. But I've been playing a whole lot of it, and the crossplay works well. I've been playing with console and PC players, and it's just really been like the best Gears of War experience I had in a long time. And outside of the expensive ass skins, that's really like the cons. It looked like they kind of fixed a lot of the issues that was going on during early launch week with bugs and like saving issues and whatnot. The servers are stabilized now. My real beef with the game is really the skins. They got some cool ass skins, but they are overly expensive. But the thing about that, you don't have to buy them. They could improve what you get once you re-up and the rank up. I feel like they need to do a better job ranking on the ranking system this time around. There's not really much to show when you're bragging about your stats in Gears 5. But honestly, I strongly recommend Gears 5. And if I had to put a score on it, it would be 9.8 out of 10, because no game is perfect, but Gears is damn near close. Thank you guys for watching my review of Gears 5. If you like this video, show me and hit that like button below, or let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. You may also follow me on Mixer.com, where I'll be streaming Gears 5 for the remainder of the month. You guys have a good day. As always, Xbox is the best box, and I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. Peace.